Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, and it is so good to share energy with you today. Thank you for inviting me in, guys. We're going to get right into it. We're going to be taking a look at human design. This has been long awaited and promised, and I'm so excited to share it with you. I'm going to see if I do this in chunks or all at one go. I feel like in chunks might be more palatable, so I will do a little intro and then we'll get into your human design. So we're going to talk about what type you are. I am working out of a book that was recommended to me from a client, which has been fantastic. I got a couple of books on this. I actually have like 3 now, and I've been studying this for the past year, so I am no expert, guys, so that's my full disclaimer. But what I am is a teacher. So when I learn, I will teach. And I think that this is something that you might want to really open your hearts and minds up to. Human design is a study of literally what kind of person you are, or what kind of energy you are, how you operate in the world. And it can really help you to take apart how you need to be. I'm going to read you a little excerpt from the book. It says, human design is not a religion, a belief system, or a cult. It can be utilized along any religious or spiritual practice because it does not demand that you accept it as a mystical origin story, believe in God, or elevate a guru. Learning about human design doesn't require you to believe in anything. As long as you're willing to begin observing yourself and the people around you, you can begin to decide if human design feels useful for you. At its core, it's a metaphysical science experimented and validated by each individual, okay? So what makes it a science, according to the Oxford Dictionary, it's a systematic study of the structure and behavior of physical and natural world through observation and experiments. And in this case, the experimentation is about human behavior and using a system of complex calculations that start with our exact birth, date, and time and location. Those calculations classify us into types and make recommendations for how we can thrive as our unique selves. So it is based on various things like I Ching and Eastern mysticism. It's based on Hindu Brahmin chakra and the Kabbalistic tree of life as well. So, and also it has come to us now, specifically in the age of Aquarius, where we really are delving into who and what we are. Guys, I'm going to be so very transparent with you. Human design is a little bit complicated. I'm going to break down your type. I'm also going to connect resources where you can go and get your human design test to figure out what type you are. I highly recommend you begin there and then come back when you're done. I have my page marked here for talking about 3 of the sites, and I will link them below. So to get your human design chart, you can go to there are many chart calculators and softwares that are available online, and these are the ones that the author of this book trusts. There is puregenerators.com/chart, puregenerators.com/chart-calculator. There is jovinearchive.com, and there is geneticmatrix.com. I'm going to show this to you right there for the resources, okay? And then I will make sure to also connect it underneath in the description box as well. The thing about this is when you do input your information, so similar to like a zodiac chart or any of that stuff, when you input your information, pardon me, guys, I just did like an hour video. Oh, excuse me. It's going to spit back out what type you are. And over the next several videos, what I'm going to be doing is examining your type in depth, explaining your type to you. So go take the test if you want to. There are free ones, and then there are ones that are more in depth that you pay for. So I do the free ones, of course. And then come back here and research or listen to me teach you about your type. If you already know your type, then click right to your video, okay? Just so that you know, I am a projector. So when we get to that, you'll hear me talk about that. We're going to start with generators, okay? So let's first talk about what the type is. The type is the most essential part of your human design. It determines your aura, and it interacts, how your aura interacts and communicates with the world around you. Everyone falls into one of the 5 types: a generator, a manifesting generator, a projector, a manifester, and a reflector. So as we explore your type, we're going to look at your strategy, how you make things happen, your signature, how you know you're aligned, your not self theme, how you know you're living against your natural energy. And this is a game changer. When I understood my not self theme, which for me is bitterness, when I start to feel bitter around a person, a place, or a situation, I got to get out of there because I'm out of alignment. And every one of these 5 types has a not self theme, meaning I do not feel like myself. Okay, that is a game changer. How you are living, excuse me, how you're aligned, not self-theme, how you are living against your natural energy, how you can thrive in relationships, how to support the children in your life depending on their type, and other useful specific type guidance about how to manage your energy. I will not be going over the children part here. This is, my content is for adults, so we're going to be focusing on you guys here. Our type determines much of how we operate in our daily lives, and when we understand how to make decisions, interact with others, and care for ourselves, we can begin to experience the life that is meant for us instead of the one that is dictated to us by external pressures. Okay, so the first type is the generator. When you get your human design, you're going to see a lot of symbols and everything, and these are called gates and all kinds of things. It's a lot to go into, guys, and that's why I'm saying I'm going to just focus on, almost like if we were talking about a zodiac sign or what place whatever falls in what house in your chart. When you're studying astrology or any of these metaphysical sciences, they are so in-depth, and you have to study it. I am a teacher, so I will facilitate and initiate the studies for you as best I can. I will also connect some of my favorite resources for studying human design. The Universal Guru is one of my favorites. I had someone that was dispatched into my life just as like a quick overview, because when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And someone was dispatched in my life, and the only reason she was in my life was to put this into my lap, to literally bloop, drop this off to me energetically, and then she was supposed to be on her magical fairy way, and she did exactly her mission. I'm going to be forever grateful for her, because the good that she left me was in me understanding. And the irony too of that situation is that her teaching me about the word human design and me delving into it, and her sharing that and her being obedient to share that with me, helped me to extricate myself out of a really toxic relationship, actually, with her. You see how God will work? So, because my projector energy requires clear communication, and I feel very almost assaulted when I don't get that. It's a big deal for me, and I also peer deeply as a projector into people's souls, and that can be very uncomfortable. It's what makes me good at my job, but it makes it tough to maybe want to be very close to me, because I see you and all of you, whatever's going on with you, I see you fully, and my job is to give advice when asked. It's not always to just give it unsolicited. So that's an interesting balance. But sometimes somebody can be the antidote and the cure and also the problem. And she literally put in my hand the thing to solve me being in a toxic connection with someone that was going to cause me to be in my not self theme, which was bitterness, because of the way that they refuse to connect or communicate. So it's ironic, because she taught me how much she would be a detriment in my life. Does that make sense? It's so funny how that worked. But I'm grateful because she did her thing. And maybe that's something for you guys to think about before we dive into the generator part. Who is in your life? What did they bring to you? And can you thank them, even if they're not there anymore and they don't serve a purpose anymore, and you guys had a quick moment? Can you send them thanks for what they did give you, which was something that may have changed your life? This changed my life. This changed the way that I worked, and I'll explain that, because every type has a way that they work more optimally, and it started me reconfiguring what work was for me and what rest was for me. I will forever be grateful. And sometimes, guys, quick message, it's as simple as that. Sometimes these relationships and soulmate assignments that we have are not supposed to be for the next 75 years, and they're just supposed to be a moment in time to get you to elevate. You get dispatched in angels, ancestors, and teachers and gurus all the time. They come in different forms. The homeless man on the street could be a guru for you in that moment, but are you going to spend the rest of your life with him? No. And I think that's maybe a new way to start thinking about that. But anyway, let's jump in for generators and get into what you need to know as a generator. When you are a generator, I'm going to show you this because I think it's a nice little key here. This is some of the information you need to know as a generator. Pause that. If you're a generator, it's going to be important for you Your strategy is to wait to respond. Your signature is satisfaction. Your not self theme is frustration. In order for you to be optimized, the not self theme, I think, is one of the most important things. It's good to know what makes you feel good, but when you realize when you're out of alignment, it's so much easier to get back in. What makes a generator? What makes a generator is a defined sacral center and no connection from the heart, sacral root, or solar plexus to the throat. When you do your chart, you're going to see what all of that means. Again, guys, I'm going to give you a cursory overview. This is so meaty and so in-depth that you have to go do your own chart in order to understand it. But if you know who you are, let's talk about what that is. Possible authorities, sacral and emotional. Sacral, we know, is associated with the color orange, has to do with our pleasure center and what feels right for us intuitively as well. 37% of the population are generators. The aura characteristics are open, magnetic, and enveloping. The keywords are stamina, mastery, depth, life force, excitement, creativity, passion, rhythm, and flow. Let's chat. So I'm going to be doing some reading with you guys today, okay? And sharing some of the things, and I'll pop through with some of my ideas as well. All right. Generators are the powerhouses of the planet. They are the builders who take the blueprints and make a vision a reality with their hard work and masterful skill. Because their aura is magnetic and enveloping, the people around them can feel their vast resources for getting things done. Their attractive auras draw others in, provoking them to ask generators to be part of their projects, spend time with them, and to help them carry out their vision. However, work and non-work energy outlets for a generator doesn't mean laboring for just anyone who requests their time and energy, which will be almost everyone. They are here to be selective about how they share their valuable life force and only say yes to what makes them feel energized and expansive and lit up. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Everyday generators wake up with a tank of energy that they need to burn, and by doing these things that satisfy them. However, this energy is discerning, and generators can deplete or drain that energy if they say yes to things that do not truly excite them. Conversely, when they engage in energizing activities, their life force multiplies, feeding them and uplifting everyone who comes in contact with their boundless enthusiasm. Here is a daily checklist for the generator. Do work activities that satisfy you. Check in with your internal guidance as you make decisions. Is it a yes or a no? Prioritize joy and energizing activities. Share your enthusiasm with others. Accept your unique flow and pace. Fall into bed exhausted, satisfied, and looking forward to tomorrow. Generators are here to master what they do. When a generator commits to something, they're in it for the long haul. They're here to go deep into the things and energize them. Remember, we're not talking about personality traits. Their quest for depth and mastery is how their energy works. So this is literally what drives them, okay? Once they commit to something, their energy wants to see it through to the end. As they journey towards mastery, they will experience periods of growth and evolution, followed by plateaus where they integrate what they've learned. Rest and wait for the subsequent response that will propel them forward. Their mind often does not like the feeling of a plateau, and they begin to worry that they'll never reach the next level in their development. However, it's essential to see the plateau as a necessary part of the process. They will always experience another burst of energy, and that keeps them moving forward. Because the generator energy moves so powerfully and consistently in one direction, it can be hard to pivot or make changes. If generators decide to go in a new direction, they may become frustrated because they have reached mastery in any endeavor. They need to come to a complete stop before moving on to other activities. The author says they always think of a generator energy as a train going steadily down a track. Trains can't stop on a dime. They've got power and momentum, and they need time to slow down, coming to an almost complete stop before they can switch tracks. As a generator, you need to make sure you are genuinely energized by something before starting. Otherwise, it can be difficult to pivot. Your powerful, consistent energy also means that your beginnings can feel slightly slow, and this is okay. It's simply how your energy works, and you can change it. The best thing to do is work with it. With time, you will gain momentum. Now, we're going to talk about the strategy. Now, Every type has a strategy for success, and for a generator, this is your type of a strategy. We've established that generators need to be selective in what they commit to. So how do we know when to make a decision? The answer lies in the generator strategy for moving through life, which is wait to respond. So if you're a generator, your strategy is wait to respond. Okay, the concept of waiting to respond can be one of the hardest things for the generators to understand and implement. How do they know when they're responding? How do they know when they're giving into a should? How do they know whether they should take action on something or not? First, it helps to understand what a generator's response is not. A response is not an idea. It is not a goal, a something to please other people, or something that originated from your mind. A response comes from spontaneously through your body, letting you know in your unique way if you have the energy to do something. You'll feel alive. You'll feel excited, animated, and invigorated when you have a yes response to something. You'll feel drained, deflated, ambivalent if your answer is a no. As a generator, you have energy for only what you are meant to do. Your purpose is created through a series of responses to the outside world. And because a generator's aura is so expansive and inviting, they don't need to chase down anything or force it into existence. In fact, they shouldn't. They are designed to live in the present. They thrive when they wait until something crosses their path. Feel a physical response that attracts and propels them forward, and then move in that direction. Things they chase or force typically won't work out because it's just not how their auras function. So you are not a chaser, okay, generator? That is not what you're supposed to do. They'll feel deeply frustrated if they're trying too hard to make something happen without following an organic response of interest. Thankfully, their aura is working on their behalf and will magnetize things to them. They can trust that life is coming to them, and what they need to do first is to know themselves well enough to recognize whether they are energized or drained, and second, cultivate a solid connection to the inner yes and no system and mechanism. So let's talk about being a conditioned generator versus an aligned generator. A conditioned generator seeks validation and outside expertise for decision making. An aligned generator is in tune with authority and body. A conditioned generator doesn't understand the value of their time and energy. An aligned generator values what they enjoy. They are rhythmic and flowing. A conditioned generator is tired and drained by what they're doing. An aligned generator loves to process and has deep trust in the universe. A conditioned generator engages in mind-numbing behaviors. Okay? An aligned one is willing to wait to respond instead of pushing. A conditioned generator gives into shoulds. They are low energy and lethargic. They people please and they overextend just because they can. They get frustrated by their progress and they're frustrated by their work environments. An aligned generator has strong boundaries around energy use, pursues what feels energizing, expresses desires and yeses and no responses confidently, unapologetic in their joy and dislikes, and understands and accepts their steady incremental pace. Okay? How does a generator know when to say yes or no? Waiting to respond means waiting for a specific type of response from their body. Going with your gut is for generators. A gut response typically takes the form of feeling your sacral area located in your belly. Okay? You feel an expansion or burst of energy, the desire to get up and move, a yes or a coming from out of your mouth, or an inexplicable attraction to something or someone you've encountered. Our sacral response tells us that we have energy, what we have energy for and what we don't. And our sacral response is always taking us towards what lights us up, what we have the passion and stamina to carry out, even if that is a path that is winding. The sacral center is a motor, which means that it's either on or off, which is very important to understand. It doesn't know how something will end or why we're attracted to it. It simply tells us whether we have the energy to pursue it or not. A generator in action. She gives an example here. Michaela is passionate about coding but never felt energized by the traditional school system. Upon graduating, she decided not to go to college, instead spent time learning online and experimenting and sharing her work. Eventually, she saw there was a demand for a specific software tool that she was excited about creating. You hear that? She was excited about creating, which she now sells in an online marketplace. Why this works for her. Instead of giving it to a societal should about the life path, she followed the path that felt the most energizing. So generators, that is your clue. You are to follow the path that feels the most energizing for you. She used her generator strategy to respond to the gaps in the market. She allowed herself time and space to develop her skills, and she loves what she does every day. Now, when we say that you should wait to respond as a generator, it does not mean doing nothing. We are constantly processing information in everything we experience through our senses, and it's asking for a response. So we walk down the street, we see a store. Do we go in? We meet someone at a new gathering. Do we begin to converse? We go through a challenging experience at work and feel drained. Do we have the energy for this job moving forward? Is it a yes or a no? We're constantly responding, and the key is to learn to listen to our gut to know what decision is right for us. As a generator, you must make peace with the nonlinear way that you navigate life and tune into your body to tell you where to go and what to pursue. Your life will transform completely when you master this flow of trust and of magical synchronicity. If you're a generator, I bet you've always known on some level that you don't have to chase anything. And it's true. Generators don't have to chase anything. I once knew a generator, and I was talking to her about her dating strategy, and she said to me something which was not my experience, but it's not my experience because I'm a projector. So the way that I deal with things is completely different. But it was so fascinating. She was like, she just ends up in relationships. She was like, people just like tell her we're in a relationship, and that's how it goes. And of course she gets to say yes or no if she's a generator. But got to watch that happen for her, how things were magnetized to her. It was really powerful and really cool to observe. And that's exactly true. So if you're a generator, the same might be true for you. Maybe examine your dating history, or examine your friendship history, or examine your jobs. How do those things come upon you? What was your yes or no? That's the thing to identify here with that. So you where to go? Your life will transform completely when you master this flow. Okay, your life will transform completely when you master this flow of trust and magical synchronicity. If you're a generator, yes, I bet you didn't have to chase anything. That is generator magic. The perfect things just seem to come to you. Now, here's your signature, which is really important. Then we're going to follow it up with the not self theme. So this juxtaposition really matters here. Your signature is satisfaction. Okay. As a generator, you know you're on the right track when your daily activities, relationships, and commitments feel satisfying. A meaningful life is not about what other people think of you. It's about how you feel about what you did with your time and your energy. You can cultivate satisfaction only by honoring your inner guidance and acting according to your responses. When you allow yourself to pursue the things that feel energizing, and even more importantly, say no to the things that aren't satisfactory, you will, by a natural byproduct, be more in alignment. When you think too hard about where you should put your energy, you will end up frustrated. That is your not self theme. How do you know when you're satisfied? It's something you will feel physically. Think about something that you've done that made you feel satisfied. What sensations did you experience in your body? As a generator, you need to tire yourself out every day. I'm going to repeat that because that is not the theme for everyone. But as a generator, you need to tire yourself out every day. If you haven't spent the day doing the things you enjoy, come bedtime, you'll feel anxious and restless. You are happiest when you fall into bed tired but satisfied with the meaningful work or activity that you've accomplished. This healthy exhaustion indicates that you're honoring your inner guidance. The Aura advises do your nighttime routine before you get tired. So washing your face, brushing your teeth, taking a bath, shower, decompressing, whatever your nighttime routine is, right? That way you can fall into bed when you've used up the last of your sacral energy. energy. Your not self theme is frustration. As a generator, you'll know you're working against your magnetic aura when you feel frustrated. Because you have a defined sacral center and a tank of energy to use up every day, you always need something to do. You can't just shut off your energy. It constantly flows out of you. So your life force always wants an outlet that feels satisfying. When you don't have enjoyable outlets in the form of jobs and work, creativity, family, friendships, and other commitments, your energy becomes backed up and doesn't know where to go. This can manifest as physical exhaustion or lack of flow. Okay? Guttural noises, heavy sighs, bodily tension, and watching the clock, amongst other behaviors, are here. Now, again, the generator that I knew would tell me about noises her stomach would make, and so I really want you to pay attention. Your gut literally will speak to you when she was in distress or dissatisfied or whatever was going on. Hunger was a thing for her too. When energy gets backed up, you may feel like you have to force things forward to make anything happen. This might look like doing things solely based on what your mind thinks is logical, being too focused on the outcome. If I do X, will I achieve Y? Or overworking and feeling frustrated about the results because they don't live up to your expectation. Frustration can result in unhealthy behaviors like addiction, overspending, thrill-seeking, overeating, and complaining. Even if it's negative, a frustrated generator will do anything that allows them to release their energy and achieve even some fleeting feeling of satisfaction. Some common sources for frustration in generators are as follows: engaging in activities that they find draining, trying to make something happen instead of going with the flow of their responses, getting too attached to the outcome instead of enjoying the process. Okay? I think that I'm going to put up here these three, and then you can pause and read because I've got a client coming up. So let's see if I can. All right. Hopefully that focuses and you guys can pause and read in depth there. Generators in action. Andrea is a trained teacher but found herself burnt out and frustrated with work. After falling in love with tarot, she learned how to read for her friends and family on the side. After a couple of years, she had a group of devoted clients and had grown her online presence. After her school closed, she chose to go full-time in her tarot business, doing readings and teaching others, and hasn't looked back since. Why it works? She shifted away from a frustrating job that drained her energy. She still gets to apply her teaching skills towards something she loves. She let her path unfold gradually, making decisions through response. She now loves what she does and feels energized and passionate. So that is a big deal here for you guys, is how to feel energized and passionate. Okay, let's see here. Okay, generators and relationships, guys. So I will read this. I was skipping over the kid part because, again, this content is for adults. Please get this book if you're interested. I think I got it off Barnes & Nobles or Amazon. I'm not sure which one. All right, generators and relationships. Generators need nourishing relationships. Relationship energy outlets too. You need to form bonds with people who you feel passionate and positive about, people who light you up and recognize the potent creative energy you bring to the table, whether it is a friend or a lover. Generators love to accomplish things and love to help. However, it is essential to ensure that they are energized by what they're doing. It can be easy to take a generator energy for granted and think their life force is infinite. Generator life force is endless, but only if they enjoy what they are doing. So it's essential to check in and ensure your generators are satisfied by how they engage with you. Sometimes generators aren't able to recognize when they're frustrated. If you're sensing generators' frustration, reflect it back to them gently and offer a possible solution without expecting them to make an immediate change. As a generator, one of the most challenging things can be feeling that you need to make a change, yet not being able to take action because you haven't received your next response. When someone else offers options, it helps you feel more powerful and less trapped, even if you can't make a move immediately. These are some of the ways that you can support a generator, or that you might need support if you are a generator. Offer them options by accepting when they say yes or no. Okay, acknowledging and celebrating their contributions, joining them in any activity that they like, lending an ear when they feel frustrated and need to figure out what isn't working, encouraging them to do things that make them feel good, accepting their unique pace and rhythm. The auric advice here is when asking a generator what they'd like to eat for dinner, provide options instead of asking open-ended questions. Okay, like for example, you know, we could have Mexican, we could have Caribbean, we could have Chinese instead of, are you hungry? Yes, they are hungry, but the options will help them come to the decision about that better. The generator that I knew, the example that I have for this specifically, where I really felt grateful to be able to be of service to her. We were getting ready for dinner, and she was really good. Generators are good at doing things, and she understood that I was a projector, so she was like always mindful of my energy when we were in a healthy state in our connection. And so she, you know, I have ideas and I'm like, I direct and stuff like that, but she was really good at like finding restaurants and all of that stuff. And I remember one night we were traveling, we were out, and she was tired, and she was like, I literally don't have the mental capacity and energy. And it's not often she says stuff like that. She was really good at getting shit done. And so she was like, I don't have the mental capacity and energy to like make the final decision on where we end up eating. And we ended up having a fantastic freaking meal at this like amazing like seafood forward kind of place. But we she asked for help, and she was like, it's not like she asked for help, but she communicated exhaustion, which meant that she had used all of her sacral resources. She didn't have any more, and I was delighted. And I remember like laying down next to her and like kind of like being like looking at the menu and being like, okay, this is where we're gonna go. This is where we're gonna end up eating. And she was like, yeah, I just didn't have it in me. And it was one of the first times I'd really seen her vulnerable and, you know, like relinquishing, because she was always happy to be of service in that direction to me. And I was happy to be able to give to her and make the final decision, because she was out of selective options and choosing. So sometimes your generators might need your help in that way. So try to support them in the best way that you can. And I was like really honored actually to help her in that moment, because she was of so much service to me. So it was really nice to be able to reciprocate. And I was really proud of her for acknowledging like her resources were depleted. So as a generator, you will have to be in touch with that. But if you love a generator, if you're in a relationship with a generator, pay attention, because I would watch her brain get overworked, or when she was frustrated, or she was nervous, or she was worried about something, and she could only focus on that one thing, because as I described, it's hard to pivot. So I'd be like, okay, well, let's just do another thing. And she would be so single-minded focused, that train on the track. I gotta get this done. I gotta get this done. I gotta get the car charged. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And I would just like step back. And she was very good with me too, to direct me, be like, girl, you need a nap, because projectors need lots of naps. We're pillow princesses in that regard. So she would be like, go relax. I'm gonna go do this thing that my single-minded focus can be on. And it was really cool when it was going very well. It was really great to kind of see how you work. Projectors and generators work very well together. Now, here's why generators are the gifts to the world. Passion and excitement for the things that they enjoy. They have a contagious, uplifting energy. They have a tenacity to carry things to completion. They have depth and mastery. They have a go with the flow attitude, and they live in the present moment. So that's what you need to know about your generator. This book is by Rachel Lieberman. It's called A Modern Guide to Human Design, How to Read Your Chart and Align with Your Life's Purpose. So good sharing energy with you. I hope that was helpful. If you've taken the test and you know what you are in your human design chart, thank you for coming and checking this out. And I hope that you got some information there. Please comment below if this was helpful for you, or if you're a generator and you can relate to this, or you might think you're a generator but you haven't taken the test yet. Come back and let's see. But anyway, guys, so good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.